Cricket South Africa Women's Provincial Campaign gets underway this weekend. Teams will battle it out for the Provincial One-Day Cup and the T20 Cup. The Northwest Dragons will be looking to defend their one-day title, while Western Province aims to repeat their feat of being unbeaten en route to a T20 success last year. Joining us via Zoom to discuss the format at the competitions, we're joined by SA Under-19 and National Academy head coach Dinesha Devnarain. A very good evening to you, Dinesha. Thank you so much for your time. So, the beginning of a new cricket season, most importantly, women's domestic competitions. You must be excited for the new campaign.
Yeah, good evening, Nandi. Yeah, definitely excited about it. I think, if you look at our leagues before this with COVID and stuff, we dealt with cricket in the bubbles. And look, that wasn't a great way to showcase talent in South Africa. We played in the bubbles, and that's a week of cricket. But I'm so excited that we get into full swing with provincial fixtures. We're looking at home and away fixtures now. We're looking at for family, friends, supporters to come through and watch. But I'm just really excited to see the level of cricket. Looking at a younger group of players, the influx of our emerging players, and hopefully we get some Proteas players playing over this weekend. So I'm really excited to see what's to come this season.
Yeah, and CSA's women's domestic competitions like the Women's T20 Cup Provincial and as well the One Day Cup. How important are these competitions, Dinesha, in terms of aiding the development of women's cricket here in South Africa?
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It's your feeder system. And what a big year this is for South Africa. I mean, we're hosting 2 World Cups now, the inaugural 19 World Cup and the Women's World Cup. But just in terms of both the formats, it's so crucial to have a system like this here in play where youngsters can come through, obviously learn the crux of the game, their skill, develop batting and bowling plans. Because, once you get identified in international cricket, you have a lot less time to figure that out. So this is very, very important for us as a country in our system to make sure that, we tend to get players through the system, perform at a certain level. So when they get to high performance or the national Proteas, is that we take their game further so they can be a match-winning Protea for us.
And you mentioned that we are going to be hosting the Women's Under-19 World Cup as well as the Senior T20, Women's T20 World Cups next month. So how important is it going to be for our cricketers in this period now to put in outstanding performances in order, first of all, to be called up to these World Cups, but also, secondly, to bring some kind of popularity and interest for the time that the World Cups come around?
Yeah, I think this is the brilliant platform to get the performances out, the ladies here. Look, I work in the high performance space and in the under-19 space, and I know that every single person wants to be in that playing 11 in the opening match against us. So, at the end of the day, it boils down to the ladies now. I think from a preparation point of view, they worked really hard in the preseason. There was a few plans put in place to see how we can meet the demands of international cricket. So now it's up to the ladies to use this as a platform, put their hands up, make it really difficult for the selectors and the head coaches to say, you can't leave me out. And hopefully, we get an aggressive and an expressive brand of cricket through this domestic league, which will ultimately lead us into filling up the stadiums at the World Cup.
Can you give us briefly an explanation of how these domestic competitions are going to work? I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there's 16 teams?
That's correct. Yeah, so ideally what we have is we have 2 pools, or Division 1, Division 2. Division 1 is made up of your top 6 provinces, so that's the best playing against the best. And then you get the Pool B, Division 2, which is made up of 2 pools. It's your inland pool and your coastal pools. And yeah, your top 6 fights for title honors. But the good thing about the top 6 is that it has the relegation and promotion system. So if you finish off 6, you automatically get relegated. And that's where I like with Division 2 comes in, is that they have something to play for of getting into the Division 1 in the top 6.
So how can we watch the competitions and keep up with the scores?
Yeah, I mean, the first and foremost thing, we can use Pitch Vision. I know that Pitch Vision is following, they're covering all live action with the women's games. But if not, I mean, we can always follow Cricket South Africa's social pages, as well as I see now that there's a Cricket South Africa Protea ladies page on Instagram, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, follow the action on CSA's social media handles, and as well as Pitch Vision. We'll catch all the action.
Dinesha, of course, women's cricket here in South Africa is not really where it should be when you compare it to the men's cricket. But how would you describe the state of women's cricket in South Africa in terms of the progress that it's made, as well as development in general?
Yeah, look, I think it's grown a lot. And I'm probably the best person to answer this question because I've played for the country as well.
Yeah.
And if I look at from my playing, where I am now as a coach, I mean, things have really grown, grown really well. But I won't say we're there yet. I think we're aware of the fact that we know that there's a few areas that we know need to be more professional in, whether that's on and off the field, and maybe from a financial point of view. But yeah, I think in its entirely, we ran a very successful women's coaches conference last week. And what I enjoyed about that is getting all 16 women coaches around the table discussing, how do we get this game going forward, And that can be on the field, off the field stuff. So I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to meet together as coaches, discuss this is the way forward. I mean, we discussed playing philosophies and, we discussed the brand of cricket that we want to play. So it's really exciting times for us at Cricket South Africa, especially in the women's sector. But yeah, it's still in its growth spurt.
Yeah.
I think there's still lots of improvement that we can get better at. But yeah, I think the main thing is that, we got the right people to drive this and hopefully in the few years to come, and if not, come this 2 World Cups, if we don't lift up a trophy now, then I do believe women's cricket in South Africa will be in a good place in the next 2 to 3 years.
Now, Dinesha, talking about a good place and all these achievements, you've got your own personal achievement. You've become the first South African woman to obtain a CSA Level 4 coaching certificate. I mean, what does this mean for your career and the strides that you could take?
Yeah, I suppose it means hard work pays off, actually, and having that belief in yourself is really important. Yeah, it means a lot of things. I think I don't think it kind of sunk in yet, but I know that I am humbled and grateful at this opportunity. And yeah, I mean, to be the first woman, I always felt like women in sport had to do extraordinary things to get noticed. And I suppose this is one of it. But what I want this to achieve, or I'm hoping what this does is that it opens doors for women to, or people to understand that female coaches do belong in high performance sports, whether you coach in male or female cricket. And yeah, I just think for me as a coach personally, it just gives me that extra ammo to push harder as a coach. It obviously gives you the credentials as well, when you're working with different players. But yeah, having said that, I'm just really blessed and privileged to have obtained such a prestigious achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge well done from us, Dinesha. We're going to leave things there for the moment. That was SA Under-19 and National Academy head coach, Dinesha Devnarain. All right.